How was high tide down on the coast there? You got a
Pretty
wind-driven
interesting.
bridge?
It was right against most people's seawalls that rarely see that. It was really high for sure. It was interesting. We had my 2.5-year-old grandson and my dog on the beach as well, which we got soaked because you couldn't tell how far up the water was going to come each time. So it could come 15 feet from the seawall or 3 or 4 times right to the seawall.
Did
So,
that Island Avenue stretch go underwater? You know
I
where?
don't know. We didn't go that way. When it's
Yeah,
like this, we just go the other way. It's just
yeah,
easier to go up East Wharf.
yeah.
But it was pretty funny. The little ones got a bath afterwards.
Wind was howling pretty good.
Oh yeah, still. Well, not so much now, but yeah, pretty
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, no, it was. I've had hurricanes that have less wind than that.
Yeah, it blew a lot of stuff around, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Blew
no
some
big
very
trees.
large branches down.
Yeah,
My drive in this morning. It's the one that's
and
on
we
top
didn't
that's
lose
the problem.
power. Yeah, and we didn't lose power once. Amazingly, I was sure I had my generator ready to go, but it made it through. EverSource, all that tree cutting, it did apparently paid off. But
Yeah.
so let's see, it's 5:31. I don't see George here, but he didn't. He might be running a little late. I guess we can get started because we have a pretty light agenda, I think. Call to order at 5:31. Item two, number two, public comment. Raquel, do we have anyone on?
No, we don't.
Do we have any other liaisons or anything like that, or this is it?
This is it.
Beautiful. Okay, good. Item three, approval of prior minutes from November 27th. Would anyone like to make a motion?
Sure, I'll make that motion.
Any comments? Do we have a second? I think Bob beat you to it. He's got a fast trigger now that he's not doesn't have Bill holding him back. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Old business, none. I'd like to see that. New business, architect, construction manager update. So, Justin, you're doing the heavy lift tonight. So,
So, good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Very light report. I believe we have addressed all of OGA's comments per the previous or per last week's correspondence. We're anticipating our approval to bid letter at any moment. Adam, I haven't heard anything today, but we are assuming that we will be out to bid prior to the holidays. So I know, in speaking with Gilbane, they have all of the bid packages ready to go out on the street by midweek this week to start the bid period. So other than that, there have been no real action items or meetings that have been held on our part. So relatively benign update this evening.
great. No news is good news. I
That's
don't
right.
I don't see Nick with us, so I assume Adam, you're gonna do double duty.
Yeah, yeah. So as per usual, Justin stole most of my thunder with the Office of Grants Administration update. I had a conversation with the reviewer last week, just on the phone at 5 o'clock at night or something. So they're working on it, sometimes late into the evenings. But there's just the check boxes they need to go through at the state level. So like I said, we're, as Justin said, rather waiting with bated breath on getting the letter from them. In terms of the overall schedule, going out to bid sometime later this week would likely yield a bid results sometime in mid to late January. I know those dates were kind of shifting around depending upon when the letter comes out and trying to time. Okay, sorry about that. That was some weird noise from my laptop. So depending upon when the letter comes through, when they're able to go out to bid, they want to maximize bidder turnout. So you don't want to go out to bid Christmas Eve necessarily, but getting it sometime this week and getting bids turned around, allowing enough time for bidder reviews. That's what Gilbane does. So we'll review the schedule with them once we actually get the letter in and kind of confirm when we expect to hear some numbers.
Where are we physically located, opening the bids? Your offices or their offices?
So the way that Gilbane did phase one is the way I would expect they would do phase two. And they've been coordinating with town finance department and procurement departments to have it opened up at their offices, and they do a live simulcast basically that's recorded. So there's no more, we didn't get a chance to attend the bid meeting and we didn't hear or see what was going on. They open them up, they read them out, and then it's recorded for perpetuity. So there's no questions about who was there, and usually there's better turnout in terms of people can view on because they don't have to physically go down there necessarily. So it's actually more transparent than just doing it at City Hall, and sometimes there's documents get lost or they turned it into the wrong office, or there's fewer questions that way. So it worked pretty well for Facebook.
Beautiful. Any other questions from the committee to Adam or Justin?
The only other item I would add is there was nothing for this evening, but perhaps at a future upcoming meeting, there was some coordination with the state as part of the DEEP process, where there were some questions about some plant that was potentially in the area that may or may not have been endangered. There wasn't any concern from the project team's perspective, but the state wanted to double confirm. So there was some discussions offline with Benish, the civil engineer, and George Logan, who you might remember was part of the wetlands review, to go out and do a quick study to confirm there in fact was no endangered plant on the site, which none was found. It's not a suitable habitat. It's all fine. There needed to be a quick turnaround on that to help avoid any delays with subsequent reviews of some of the permit applications and things at the state level. So again, no action for this evening, but at a near term committee meeting, there will be an amendment to TechDon's contract to reflect that. I think it was like $5,000 for the additional study that was done, and we were coordinating with Bill and Graham as part of that communication to turn that around. But when we get to that phase and you see that come through, that just occurred this past week or two to resolve. So again, sort of long-winded way of saying nothing bad, but some things happened on the back end to keep the project moving at the state level.
Beautiful. So moving on, I think we're all set there. So let's move on to the invoice packets.
All right, I'll share my screen here.
Yep.
All right, so pretty light lift. Just the monthly Collier's bill, as well as periodic Tecton bill, for a total of $187,262.80.
Yeah, would anyone like to make a motion? If
I'll make the motion that we approve the invoice as shown.
got it. Any discussion? A second? I think
I'll second that, sure.
second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, approved. Thank you. Moving on to the next item, discussion of future meetings. Adam, if you could pull up your Outlook calendar there.
Yes. So I'm actually going to show the meeting calendar we reviewed last meeting for the 2024 schedule. So currently the next meeting is slated for January 2nd and the meeting thereafter for January 16th. January 2nd meeting, admittedly, there's probably not a whole lot that's going to be reported at that meeting, given the holiday break will have just generally ended. People still may be traveling, and hopefully we'll be smack dab in the middle of the bidding process through Gilbane. So there, if the committee was so inclined, there might be an opportunity to cancel that January 2nd meeting. Additionally, the January 16th meeting, again, based on the slightly elongated process through the state to get the approval letter and get out to bid, I'm fairly certain we won't have any bid numbers or anything of that nature. So I don't know that it makes sense to pick a specific date yet for the 16th, shifting it a week or 2 weeks or whatnot, but it may be worthwhile to hold the group towards the middle of January to potentially schedule a date once we might have some greater clarity in terms of bid periods. It may be that the bid period will extend out and it makes sense to hold the 16th just to do invoices as an update, but point being is that one might want to be a little more flexible to get the most bang for our buck in terms of updates and data or things. So I guess again, January 2nd, probably potential to cancel, and then offline email coordination to see if the 16th makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense. I don't think anyone would object to canceling the second. Right now, I don't think anything's gonna, unless something dramatic happens. But I think we're good. Is everyone okay with the second and holding the 16th as a tentative with the? Is anyone going to be away in January for any length of time or? Good. Okay. Well, that's good. So I guess we'll officially cancel the second, and then we'll hold the 16th for now, but probably move it back. Unless that's so. Beautiful. So moving on to public comment. Well, we're flying here. I assume, did anyone else join us, Raquel?
No, but Katie Stein, she did join.
Yes. Hey, Katie, how are you? Good. Moving on to number 8. This could be a record here. Any other remarks, questions, comments? Or on bid, on schedule, hopefully, fingers crossed, good bids. Hopefully. Oh, and Adam mentioned that the early package actually got signed and has been issued. So, I mean, the contract, which is a major milestone, which due to Adam's advanced planning was not painful, apparently. So that's good. The full GC, the bids might take a little longer than that. I mean, the contract, but I think we're in good shape. So good. So any other comments, thoughts, holiday tips, gifts for your spouses, anything?
Adam, were you about to have a baby?
Yes, it's if not this week, then it'll be scheduled for induction probably middle of next week. So next
the
time you
tax
see me will
deduction
be
on this year.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So
no,
just-
this
Yeah.
is
So
my
maybe
one requirement for the kid that's not born yet.
so
Is
we
your
may have the
first?
second just to get the weight and height, the weight and length of the baby on the second, but we can probably do that. Not good. So we're going to be dealing with Chuck in the next meeting, unless you can cancel a couple of meetings, right?
If it shifts to the end of January, I might sneak back in for that. But if you hold the second, if we were to hold the second, then it would have been Chuck. But yes, any questions or whatever, make sure to copy him or send it to him. But otherwise, it should be a fairly quiet month or so. So my absence may go unnoticed.
Is this your
Yeah.
first
as we
child?
proceed here. It is, yes.
Oh, well, that's great. Do you know if it's a boy or girl?
Boy.
Nice. Congratulations. I hope it all goes well.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It won't be a
Excited.
quiet month for you, Adam.
well,
So,
Well, they
That's it.
sleep the first 2 weeks. People tell you they need you in the beginning. That's the easy part. That's it's the second month that's the heavy lift, in my
well,
opinion.
if he's like me, he'll be a monster when he's first couple weeks. So fine. It sounds like a me problem.
Don't worry, you'll blink and they'll be a teenager. And then it'll be really fun.
Exactly. Well, I guess with that quick time, anyone might make a motion to adjourn?
I will make that a motion to adjourn the meeting and wish everyone a happy holiday.
And a second? Anyone?
I'll second it.
Yeah, George
And I-
sneaks in with the second. All in
And similar
favor?
to Sharon, happy
Aye.
holidays.
Yes, absolutely. Take care, everyone.
happy
Yeah,
holidays.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.
Take
Yeah.
Good
care.
luck, Adam.